is Psychological First Aid During COVID-19. And our speaker for this session is Dr. Tushar Singh. Dr. Tushar Singh is currently a faculty member at Department of Psychology, Banaras Hindu University. He completed his DPhil from University of Allahabad and has over 12 years of teaching experience in premier institutes such as Amity University, Center for Behavioral and Cognitive Sciences, University of Allahabad, and now BHU, of course. Besides teaching, Dr. Singh is also contributed towards quality research. He has both presented and published several research papers of both national and international repute. He is also served as the research director of an international project funded by the Economic and Social Research Council UK and has been granted several international and national level projects. He is also serving on the editorial board of several reputed journals such as the Indian Journal of Social Science Research and Cyber News. Dr. Singh is also actively involved in training, and he trains students in acquiring key psychological skills and soft skills. He was selected as the emerging psychologist in the year 2012 by the Union of Psychological Sciences and was also awarded with the Early Career Researcher Award in 2018 by International Council of Psychologists. He is also one of the board members of International Association of Applied Psychology and is also the treasurer of National Academy of Psychology, India. Now I invite Dr. Tushar Singh to please deliver his talk on psychological first aid during COVID-19.
Thank you, Akanshi. Good afternoon, everyone. I must say it was an insightful listening to Dr. Rajesh Bhatt on various aspects of society, and I feel privileged to be here among you all. So let me talk about psychological first aid. The topic I chose was, everybody might have an idea why I chose this topic. We are facing once in a lifetime pandemic which has impacted upon the world. Impacts are worldwide, and it is also being considered as one of the largest psychological crises also throughout the world. Because if you see the numbers of people affected and affected clinically by this pandemic are in lakhs, but number of people being affected by this pandemic psychologically are numerous. Even those who are not affected by it, who are not infected by COVID-19, are also facing the psychological problems that are emerging from lockdown that have been imposed in various parts of the world to curb this pandemic. So psychological problems are much in place. We already know that we are short of psychology professionals all around the globe, but in India there is a severe dearth of number of people available to help, and thus having an idea about psychological first aid is a need of hour. The concern which this method can take are general anxiety, panic and fear. So psychological first aid is not counseling. It does not require a professional counselor or professional psychotherapist to do, but it can be done by anybody. So before I go into the details of psychological first aid, let me talk about the effects which a general public is seeing. So the general reactions to this pandemic situation are, we can call them, we can count them on 4 criteria. One is emotional, cognition related, physical and action. So there are 4 types of general reactions that are happening. Emotional problems which people are facing are fear and anxiety, that if what happens if we get infected, how to tackle with the situations, we are not moving outside, what will happen, helplessness, And then a major emotional fear for us is disconnection. We are disconnected from our friends, family, and society, and it's a great source of pain for us. Cognitively, majority of us are confused what to do. We don't know our future course of actions, losing our decision making abilities, and also very importantly we are facing problem in concentrating. There are several physical impacts which have psychological root cause in nature, psychological causes. These are appetite loss, sleep loss, and general somatic symptoms. And the action few people are showing, the behavioral components few people are showing are crying. Some people are also involved in risk taking. Some people are involved in risky behaviors such as alcohol and drug abuse, and even few cases of reports of suicide ideation and actual suicide are also reported. So these are the problems which are being faced by the world population, and this needs attention in addition to what is already needed by the infection of COVID-19. So let me talk about what is psychological first aid. Psychological first aid is a very first response to any potential traumatic experience. So like other medical first aid, it is giving psychological help immediately either during a traumatic experience or immediately following a traumatic experience. It is usually given by the first responder. The first person who is witnessing the incidents must be able to give this psychological first aid. Usually it is given by family members, society people, or community members, and it helps people cope with the event that is happening. We all know, we all know that it help if get given on a right time, in right manner. It may help people feel calm and supported. It can help them better cope up with their challenges, and it can help them having normal life with a sense of safety, calmness, and hope. So very necessary is that each one of us are aware about the techniques that can be helpful whenever we need such a uh, whenever we face such a situation. As I have already said, that it does not need a professional counselor to give this training. It can be given by anyone, or it can be given by any people who have at least three characteristics. One is, the person must have empathetic mindset. He must have the ability to recognize and understand others' emotions. Second, he should be an active listener, a person who is able to listen carefully to the other person's talks or sayings, and he must be able to get that. And third, a person who is aware about the surroundings. So three qualities that is required for a person to be able to do psychological first aid is empathetic, active listener, and a person who is aware about the surroundings. It can be a volunteer, it can be a member of general public, and it can be anybody who believe in giving help without any judgment, and who is willing to help people without having a second thought. It could be given. Now, for whom it is given? Who is receiver of psychological first aid? There may be person in quarantine. Many of us have been talking to people who are quarantined in Varanasi, and many of us are doing it in different parts of the state and country. So people in quarantine, they are confused, they lack necessary information, and definitely they need psychological help. It can be given to general population who are locked inside the house. It can also be given to the health worker and social welfare responders who are facing the situation in field and might be developing various negative psychological problems. It can be given to people who have recovered from COVID-19 but are facing some psychological issues. It can be given to families and friends of deceased who have lost their loved ones due to this pandemic. It can be given to the caregivers or parents who are locked at home with their small kids and children. And it can also be given to older adults and other vulnerable groups like women, mental health patients and all. So it could be given to anybody who shows symptoms of mild to moderate psychological problems. Now, how to give? There are two broader categories. Number one, preparation for psychological first aid. Being prepared is first prerequisite, and then second is actual action. So preparation should be done by everybody. Everybody must be ready to give whenever it is needed. Action definitely we take when we have people to respond to. But preparation should be done by everybody. So what is there in preparation? Number one, we must know about the crisis. Every little details about the crisis. What is the crisis we are facing? What are its symptoms? What are its possible psychological impacts? We must also be knowing about the services and supports available. What are the helpline numbers? What are the hospitals that are accessible in this lockdown situation?
Please, participants, please mute your audio. It's very disturbing. Sir, please continue.
We must also be able to learn about the safety and security concerns. We must also be aware about if we are dealing with the patient or possible patient of this pandemic, what are the safety measures we should be adopting to, what are the security protocols we have to follow, and at the same time, last but very important, we must be aware about the culture, belief, the person following, the person we are going to help, which culture he belongs to, what are his beliefs, what are the appropriate behavior patterns which are acceptable for that person. It is very necessary that we are giving and approaching a person in need in culturally appropriate way. So these are 4 preparations. It is required by everyone who believes or who want to be a psychological first aid service provider. Now, second is actions. What we do in this? We don't do any rocket science. We don't do anything in this which requires proper training and practice. It's just simple. Basically, majority of us are already doing these things without knowing that these are the steps involved in psychological first aid. So what are these? They are 3L. 1, look, listen, and link. Look, we must be able to assess the current situation. We must be able to identify who seeks support. We must be able to notice and know that this is the person who might be needing support. We must also be looking for the risks that person have. Okay, this person, what are the problems, risk this person might face? What are their needs? What are their immediate needs? And what are the expected emotional consequences of the need or situation the person in? So we must look for these first, and if we found that yes, there is a genuine need a person has which must be addressed, we must go and talk to them. The second step is listen. Active listening. We must start the conversation. We must not wait. If we have looked carefully and believe that the person requires support, we must not wait for the person to come. We must go and start the conversation. We must introduce ourselves. We must be able to introduce ourselves and assure them that look, we are here to support, and till I am here, you are free from any worries you might be having. We must try to initiate conversation, and we must be very careful once the conversation once the person have started saying something, we must then change our role and try to be an active listener. When we are doing that, when we are actively listening their concerns, we must be away from any possible judgment. We must not be evaluative. We must not answer them or interrupt them saying that, oh, this is not a valid feeling, you should not think that. No, we must at that time be free from any judgment, and we must accept their feelings, whatever it is. We must try to listen and understand their needs and the concerns in their own language, and then we must help them find solution for the problem. So first we have to listen to them carefully, listen to their needs, concerns, listen to their emotional reactions to them, and then collaboratively we should go and help them find the solution. Third and very important aspect of this is to link. Now linking has two components. One, for mild and moderate symptoms, when we know that these symptoms are momentary and are expected to be taken care by social connections, we must link them to their loved ones. So we must try and bring their loved ones in place. In this lockdown situation, we may try to link that person with their loved ones using online methodologies, chat, video messaging and all. We must try to link them to the social support groups, NGOs, helping societies. We may also link them to other service providers which might be having. And finally, if we believe that the person's psychological problems are not of mild nature, he might be needing further specialist support, we must definitely link that person to a more valid and basically a specialist and a psychologist. So we must ensure in this third step that we not leave the person in the middle. Rather, before leaving or before terminating this first aid response, we must ensure that we have linked that person to a group or an individual who will now take it up further and ensure that the person does not face such problem. So either link him or her with the their family and support group or to a professional. Now the question comes is when to decide that we need to refer this. Remember that psychological first aid, like physical first aid, is only to help person restore their normalcy as much as you can until specialist help is available. So it is not a process in which we are trying to completely solve the problem the person might be having, because the person might be having a more severe problem in which we are not skilled with. So we must also know when to refer a person to a specialist, when to not to engage much, and as possible as quick we must refer the person. There are few criteria. Number one, when we feel that emotional reactions are too strong that it will affect the person's daily life. If we believe that these emotional reactions are too deep, intense, and it is going to affect the person's daily life, we must immediately refer the person to a specialist help. And especially when this emotional reaction is expected to be present for more than a few days. When we feel that these emotional reactions the person is facing from last 1 month or is likely to face for next few days or weeks, we must definitely link the person to a specialist. The person also needs specialist when they have not been able to sleep for over a week. Remember, 1 or 2 days sleeplessness are quite normal. It's a common phenomena. When we are stressed, when we are not in our normal routine, we may miss out sleep for 1 or 2 days. But if a person reports that he have not slept for over a week, he needs specialist support. If the person seems confused and distressed, if the person is not able to clearly tell and express his thoughts, actions, feelings, it is clear indication that the person is under severe distress and need a specialist psychological help. If the person is not able to care for themselves, their children, their family, so if the person is under a circumstances, he is not taking care of his family, children, especially he is not behaving normally with their family members, the person might need specialist help. If it is evident that the person is losing control too often, is threatening to harm himself or to others, and or this person is under severe alcohol or substance abuse, in all these circumstances we must try to refer to that person, link to that person as soon as possible to a specialist psychological service provider. And if in any process we know that the person have an existing psychological illness, is on medication for some psychological or mental health problem, we must try to link that person as possible as soon to a specialist. So in all these situations, psychological first aid is a momentary stop button, so that the situation doesn't get worsened, so that the situation is stopped, the severity of this situation is paused at this stage. But under these circumstances, the person must necessarily be referred to a psychologist. There might be a question that is it a counseling? The answer is clear no. Psychological first aid is not counseling. Although many of the techniques, the process itself and the approaches might seem similar to counseling, but remember, psychological first aid is not a counseling because it's a temporary arrangement to help people. Counseling is more permanent solution to problem, and counseling is an enabling process in which the counselor enables the person to deal with his or her situation. In psychological first aid, usually we give them solution which temporarily end their. Okay, so the counseling is relatively permanent and relatively more sophisticated formal procedure to help, which psychological first aid is not. Neither it is a clinical or psychiatric intervention. Clinical and psychiatric interventions requires knowledge and practice of psychotherapeutic techniques. All these things are not required for providing psychological first aid. It is also not psychological debriefing. It is not just helping them understand their own feeling, understand their own thought. No, it's not that. It's not catharsis also. It's not that the person will speak his or her grief and then feel better. And it is also not motivating them to tell their story. It's not. It's only a basic first step, helping step, in which we try to just give a pause button to a person's suffering so that his well-being is protected until a proper solution of the problem is given. Like all other professional help, there are some do's and don'ts for this help also. We must respect their privacy and keep everything which is expressed confidential. We should not break the confidentiality rule. even though it is not a formal relationship agreement between you and the needy, we must accept and we must maintain the confidentiality. We must try to give them emotional and practical support, but we must never try to probe them too deeply, because once their deep rooted emotions are out, probably we are not equipped to deal with those emotional outbursts. Until we are a trained psychologist, we may not handle the emotional outbursts, so we must never try to probe their emotions too deeply. We must try to understand whatever emotions they are expressing by their own, but we must not try to probe. We must actively listen and we must not seem distracted when we are listening to them. While doing this help, like all other helping techniques, we must not be biased by our own prejudice thinking patterns, and we must not judge them. We must accept whatever they are saying. We must respect their right, and we must not tell them what to do. We must provide them help, but we must not instruct them. We must not never take benefit of the helping position we are in at the time. We must also know our limits, that we are not trained, and we should never overestimate our skills, and we must take help of, I'm saying this again and again because it's a very tricky situation. While providing help, we must never be under this false belief that we can tackle this problem. If we are not trained in that, we must try to get help as soon as possible. We must end the process of helping respectfully. It should not end abruptly without giving them information about future support. We must either end when we have linked that person to another professionals or a person who will further take care of the person, or we must stay with the person. We must not abruptly end the process by saying, look, I have now done this, and here onwards you have to be on your own. No, we must ensure that the person's safety is protected. In this process, it is also likely that we also suffer from these psychological problems. We are not immune to that. Though we are psychology professionals, we are not immune for such psychological impacts. So we must also know what are the protective factors, how to protect ourselves. And if we know how to protect ourselves, probably will be better able to protect others also. So there are three aspects of these self-protection. One is connect, second is finding meaning, and third is following normal routines. Connect, we must identify and belong to a team. This team might be of family members, of siblings, of friends, or professional colleagues. But we must have a sense of connectedness. We must be able to contact few people whenever we need help. So we must have our emotional support system in place. Being motivated to help other is something which revert back to us, and it results in helping for us as well. Being able to give support and also ensure that we receive support whenever we need, and we must belong to a caring family or community. So we must create our support system in place where we can be assured that there are people to share and people to care for. Second, we must try to find meaning in everything. Meaningfulness is very necessary for a normal psychological routine. We must be able to find meaning in work, whatever we are doing. If we were doing on the site job, we might have been able to find meaning in that. Now when we are working from home, we must find meaning in this also. Whatever we are doing, we must be able to find meaning in that, and we must be able to give it importance. We must also be able to leave work behind and take rest whenever it is required. This is a very important skill. that whenever required, whenever necessary, we leave all work and take rest. Because many of the time taking rest is first step and very important step towards recovery from mental problems. We must also follow normal routine. A daily routine, a fixed routine is something which help us physically as well as mentally. So we must have a routine. We must not sacrifice our cultural practices, religious belief, religious routine. So if we were praying daily, we must continue that. We were chanting daily mantras, doing yoga, everything. We must continue doing this as we used to do in a normal day. Why? Because we must always remember that this is a new normal. It's not a situation which is not normal. Now this is the new normal. So whatever situation we are in, that is normal. In psychology, something which is being followed by the large population is normal. We all are under lockdown. We all are working from home. We all are confined to our room and our household. It's the new normal. So we must follow normal routine. There is no need to be worrying about and thinking about what we used to do or what we would be doing. That was past, that is past now. What happened is past. What will happen is still in future. So let's maintain our normal present. So with these words, I will end this talk, again specifying that be ready, always be ready to help if you find somebody who might be needing psychological help. But at the same time, be aware that until and unless we have necessary psychological training and skills, we must also always be ready with the references whom to link to when there is a need. So thank you all. I thank you for all for this active listening.